55, Jacksonville.
I love Coach Cohen and the whole staff and everyone that's in, all the guys that were brought in free agency, just good dudes, good players too. But I really feel like we've done some great things this offseason.
Adding people who are intangibly rich. And Travis, in fact, as a player, is rare. But as a person, he's also rare.
Gets away from one and superhuman pick from Travis Hunter. Put the cape on him already.
I think he has a great career ahead of him on both sides of the ball. If he's the best DB, is he the best wide receiver? Who knows? But is he a great playmaker on both sides of the ball? Yeah. Yes, he is. And at the end of the day, when you're a team like, us right now, who's in that stage of we have to get it right now. We need the best playmakers on the field at all times. And if he can give you that value, let's do it.
We need to go win football games. And right now, am I optimistic? Absolutely. But I'm also realistic. Like, hey, let's not break our arms, patting ourselves in the back, how great things are going right now. Because ultimately, it's about winning football games, and that's what we're focused on.
1010XL 92.5 FM presents Jaguars Today with your hosts Mike Dempsey, Tony Smith, Jeff Lageman, and Dylan Denmark.
All right, welcome in, everybody. Another edition of Check the Tape Tuesday. A little bit better tape to check this time, I would imagine, as Jeff Lageman's in studio with us, Mike Dempsey, Tony Smith, and Dylan Denmark. Good morning, Tony.
Good morning.
How are things?
Pretty good.
Watch Monday Night Football, preseason Monday Night Football last night?
No, I did not.
I watched about half of it.
Yeah.
It was kind of on. I was on the air, kind of paying attention to it.
Mm-hmm.
Joe Burrow got wrecked on a 17-yard sack. Like, I feel like after two touchdown drives last week and one to lead off the game last night, that might have been enough for me to see.
That's the never-ending story for Joe Burrow. It doesn't matter how talented he is. Doesn't matter how talented the skill position guys are. They're never going to build an offensive line that does anything but get him wrecked.
At least they haven't, right? I don't know if they will or not. That's just how it works
with the Bengals.
Logs, good morning.
Morning.
How are things?
Good. Very good. I did watch the game, too.
Yeah.
A little bit of it,
Yeah, right. I don't need to go too deep into the second half, but I'm very curious about the Washington running back situation right now with Brian Robinson looking like he's on the outs. But
how's that impact your fantasy world?
That's Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt, a.k.a. Bill, is the fastest riser up draft boards in the last 72 hours is how that impacts.
Does it make Jaden Daniels more valuable?
I don't think so necessarily because he's going to run regardless of who the back is. I don't think Brian Robinson Jr. is that special a back.
Yeah.
He's good. He's okay. But I think they probably said, I don't know. We got what you're giving us for about a third of the price.
Kind of weird. I mean, usually when you have, a situation like that, I wonder if it just got a little bit testy, because, typically you don't have a player that gets inactivated before the game and, the team is kind of spread the word or the word gets out before something like that happens because, typically you want to keep as many parties as possible in the conversation about trying to acquire him. And so when you put the word out that, hey, he's on the block, sometimes it can lessen the value a little bit.
I feel like reading the tea leaves that they've shopped him around. They've got nothing close to anything in terms of an offer, and now they're trying to put the pressure on, you got to get in while the getting's good. Now everybody knows the secret's out because it's pretty clear. There was a report middle of last week that from one of the guys who had covered the team for a number of years with The Athletic. He's branched out on his own now. And he said, don't be surprised if he's not on the opening day roster. And he was the first one to say anything like this. And then everybody else started following suit. Yes, he's being shopped. He's doing all this stuff. Yeah. So I think somebody got the hint a little ahead of everybody else.
Yeah, I saw it's only like a $400,000 dead cap hit. Like if they release him, so that's it's no implication there, right? Like they can either get something in the trade or he's not going to be on the team. Seems to be the pretty clear picture of what's happening with Brian Robinson.
Speaking of trade, good one for the Jaguars.
Yes, Colin Saunders, come on down, Bink, as he is often referred to. Were you able to go back and focus on him and see how he performed?
I did, yeah.
And how did he perform?
Yeah, he's solid. He's a 0 or a 1. He's a true nose tackle, which a lot of people, when they first probably saw the trade, were thinking, oh, yeah, we got him because, we've got injuries with Mason Smith and Eric Armstead.
Who both, by the way, are back on the practice field today.
Yeah. And
participating in team practice.
They don't play the position that Colin Sanders plays. Colin Saunders plays the 0 or the 1 technique, which is where Devon Hamilton and Jordan Jefferson are, which if you watch the performance of those two, you could understand why the trade was made.
Do you think that Colin Saunders is going to push enough? Does he have enough time to that's what I'm saying, to open the season as your starter?
Playing defensive line is not rocket science,
right?
And it's pretty simple. I like to say that's really hard,
defensive lineman.
but it's not. It's even more simplified for defensive tackle. And he's been around the block.
Right.
So it's not like it's going to be anything that's otherworldly for him. He's been around for quite some time.
Yeah. What
is Devon Hamilton's number, Tony? I probably shouldn't have asked you on that station computer.
Yeah.
Listen to Jeff and Dan there a minute ago, but I'd be curious to know what his number is. His contract a couple of years ago was pretty significant, and I'm not saying that he's a possibility of getting released or anything of that nature, but the reality is that you want some level of play that's commensurate with the level of pay. And if you're not getting that, then, look, here's the other thing that could possibly happen is that, there's been many players that have been asked this time of year that, hey, look, we need to do something about your contract. Maybe we're not happy with that. Or they like, Devon Hamilton where he's at and the number that he's at. And maybe it's more of just a Jordan Jefferson thing. I don't know the answer to that. I do know that the performance at that defensive tackle spot is not where it needs to be.
His cap hit on the roster is $10.8 million. His dead cap hit is 15. So now look, they took a dead cap hit with Gabe Davis when they said this is not going to be a part of the plan, so we could kind of fool ourselves into thinking that. By the way, his dead cap hit next year would be $8.5 million. You'd save about $3.5 million against the cap if you make a move next year.
And this year
you'd be underwater by over 4.2.
Yeah.
Is basically what it is. But don't forget, Josh Hines-Allen has declared him the best nose tackle in the league, so it's hard to cut that off your roster.
I get that. You're trying to back your guy.
Oh, I get it, but
definitely not the case.
No, it hasn't been. All right, so
I hope he can get better, though. A couple of years ago, before he had the back injury, he was trending up in a big fashion, and then since he's had the injury, it was. The year that he came back, the first couple games that he played, it's quite painful. I was like, wait a minute, he's not ready. And then last year, towards the end of the year, he picked it up a little bit, and I thought he played at a pretty good level. And this year, I'm hoping that he can pick that level of play up. Really, behind him, there's really not a lot. So maybe it's more behind him.
Well, is Jordan Jefferson in trouble?
Disappointing, yeah. The disappointing thing with Jordan Jefferson is, on a single block, he can handle a single block, but the problem is that he handles the single block and he's upright. And then when he gets a double team, you might as well forget him making a play. That's just not very good at it right now. And for whatever reason, he's a big and strong enough guy, but his just pad level is so high. There's no way in the world that he could have success on those blocks with his pad level where it's at.
All right, so which defensive tackles make this opening day roster? Armstead, Mason Smith. You presume Colin Saunders will make it.
Austin Johnson.
You think Austin Johnson will be there?
Yeah.
Tyler Lacey, yes or no?
Probably not.
All right, so then no Jordan Jefferson?
No.
And Devon Hamilton.
I think you got Devon Hamilton, Austin Johnson, Mason Smith, Eric Armstead, and then
Colin Saunders. All right, there you go. One question answered. It is a Check the Tape Tuesday. You can submit your questions for Jeff in a variety of ways. Today, you can go to the Checkmate Coatings phone lines at 641-1010 and pose a question. You can do the same at that number on the text line designed by Lifetime Enclosures. You can stream us on YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook, and you can hit us up on social media and ask your questions there as well. Your Chad and Sandy real estate question today, as it always is on a Tuesday, asks you, what are your questions for Jeff Lageman, Jaguars related? And you'll find us there at MD_1010XL, at 1010XL Fat Tony, at Logs56, and at 1010XL Denmark.
Ain't no laws when you're drinking claws, baby.
Good morning, Coach Denmark.
Good morning, Mike.
Everything good?
Hey, we're all Gucci here, man.
All right. Practice today?
Yes, sir.
All right. Big bounce back week?
We hope so.
All right.
We need it.
We definitely need it out there on the west side, but we're all pulling for you. All right, we're ready to roll. It's a Check the Tape Tuesday. Jeff Lageman in studio. Let's reflect on what we saw on the field this weekend and what's to come in the remainder of the preseason. Officially, I think the only guy, Tony, you and I were talking about it before the show, Wyatt Milam might be the only guy not participating in team practice day. Tyson Campbell's out there. Travis Hunter's out there. They're all out there, which is a great sign as we get inside 3 weeks for the start of the season coming up on us. All right, you're listening to Jaguars Today. Keep it locked right here on 1010XL, 92.5 FM.
Jaguars Today for the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios. Get national insight from a local legend.
I know exactly who this man is.
Mike Duraco.
And we get his insight every Thursday from 10 to noon on Jaguars Today with Mike Dempsey and Fat Tony. Brightened by Lee and Kate's Glass on 1010XL.
Hey, it's Carline here. If you're shopping for a new ride, you've got to check out Atlantic Infinity. Not only do you get a luxury vehicle, you also get the Atlantic Infinity Promise free with every new car. That's almost $2,500 in added value just for buying smarter, and you don't have to sweat it out on the lot. Shop in their indoor climate-controlled showrooms. It's cool, comfortable, hassle-free. They're on Atlantic near St. John's Bluff, or browse anytime at AtlanticInfinity.com.
It's a Jaguars Today Tuesday.
Kept pest-free by Julington Creek Pest Control.
Say goodbye to glasses and contacts with customized vision treatments at Bowden Eye & Associates. Hey, Hicken here. Dr. Bowden and his expert team bring you all the latest options like Evo implantable Collamer lenses, refractive lens exchange, or traditional LASIK. Tailored just for you. Imagine waking up to clear vision. No hassle, no fuss. You ready to see the difference? Call now or visit BowdenEye.com for a free screening. Bowden Eye & Associates, keeping the first coast focused.
Cooking with Crisco.
These things are wonderful. You're going to love it. Have a rolling.
Catch CBS Sports senior NFL writer Pete Prisco every Friday afternoon on The Franchi Show. Brought to you by Showtime Sports Cards and Collectibles on 1010XL.
Firehouse Subs has fries. Your hometown hero since '94 just cranked up the heat. Hot subs, crispy fries, golden, pillowy on the inside, and perfectly seasoned. Over 30 Jacksonville locations. Firehouse Subs, homegrown and now with fries.
Come to Monahan Jewelers store-wide 40 to 50% off sale going on now for a very limited time. Everything on display is 40 to 50% off at Monahan Jewelers. We've bought so much brand new jewelry, we need to make room for it. Diamond jewelry, engagement semi-mounts, colored gemstones, even gold chains. Right now, everything on display at Monahan Jewelers is 40 to 50% off. Jewelry's going quick, so come to Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach.
Hey, Hicken here for my friends at Clean and Freaks at Zero Res. Great time of the year to get your house Zero Resified. And right now, you can get your entire home clean from Jacksonville's ultimate carpet cleaner. You'll get 3 rooms of carpet clean starting at just $135. Plus, they're throwing in a free hallway and take $100 off the air duct cleaning. Schedule your appointment at ZeroResJacksonville.com or call 287-5727 and ask for the 1010XL special. Zero Res, spell it backwards or forwards. It spells the same. Zero Res.
Zero Res.
Right now, they're on their way to disrupt your life, make you uncomfortable, and rob you. Don't bother calling the police. They can't help. That's right. Summer heat and humidity are about to attack North Florida again. You know what to do. Call Mike Merritt. Mike Merritt's Heating and Air has a license to chill. When heat and humidity are attacking you, Mike Merritt provides a comfortable chill at a bargain price. Mike has been keeping North Florida comfortable for 30 years. Mike Merritt technicians are never paid commissions, meaning you'll never be pressured to buy something you don't need. And Mike Merritt knows cooling issues can arise anytime. They don't just happen during business hours. So Mike Merritt never charges overtime fees. When you need us, we're here for you. Remember, in the fight against heat and humidity, Mike Merritt has a license to chill. Visit merrittair.com. Florida license number CACO 50384.
When you've been in a crash and your mind's racing.
When you've fallen in a store and are blaming yourself.
When you've been hurt at work and you don't know what to do.
Or if you've been the victim of a medical mistake, we've got you.
We've got what it takes to prove a case that the insurance companies can't ignore.
With decades of experience and a track record of winning for our clients.
Farah and Farah, Jacksonville.
Family owned and managed for 20 plus years, Hidden Hills Golf Club boasts a unique and welcoming atmosphere. Visit us at hiddenhillsgc.com to book your next round on our Arnold Palmer signature course. You'll be glad you did.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Jeff Lageman Tuesday
Is brought to you by
Napa Auto Care on 1010XL.
All right, Logs, let's jump in on the quarterback. Usually we start off with Trevor Lawrence and his performance. I think, the numbers look good. The lack of connection with Brian Thomas in the back of the end line looked like he was reading the right side of the field. Yeah, he was open. I know you're mouthing he was wide open, but
wide open.
Okay, what was the read though?
Yeah, that's a great question. I don't know, but the way kind of Trevor's head was moving, you would have thought that was like the fourth read.
Right. He started looking at the right side and made his way back, and then tried to.
Yeah, two guys that kind of got up in traffic, and then you had another guy that was crossing the field to that side, and Trevor really kept his eyes what I thought was way too long on that side of the field, especially when you've got a guy by the number 7 on the other side, okay? And if as soon as he saw that, some of the guys were caught up in traffic, if he comes back to the left, and again, I don't know what the progression is, but if he does come back to the left, I mean, it's pitch and catch. It's touchdown easy. Brian had great release, great route, had great separation, would have been an easy throw, but he just didn't look that way. So, overall, I thought he was the operation of the offense was really good. Very impressed with no mistakes as far as pre-snap errors goes. They got lined up. They didn't have any false starts, which was, I thought, a big improvement from the first game against Pittsburgh, which obviously was an area of concentration, one thing they wanted to work on and improve on. The red zone fumble, though, was like, dude, what are you doing? I mean, come on. This is fundamental football. Protect the ball. Just eat it. Eat it right there, line up, play another down.
Yeah. Garrard said yesterday, there are moments like that. It depends on, how you're holding the ball, how you're falling, and he's made plays like that, where he's extended that handoff, but he kind of tried to stick it in there just awkwardly and shove the ball in on him. So overall, if you had to grade him, let's say, just B minus, B plus?
Yeah, B minus just because of the turnover.
Okay.
That was just unnecessary.
On Twitter, Code Blue says in what he's seeing is Trevor, he thinks he's getting the ball out faster. It looks more efficient on third down. What is he doing differently? Obviously, there's a lot of talk about his footwork, right? Are you noticing a difference in his footwork? Is he stepping into throws better this preseason than you've seen him in the past? What is noticeable to you on film?
He's making progress, but, he's by no means a finished project. I think he's got still a lot of work to do, and part of that work is just, getting the entire system digested to where you're just spitting it out and your brain is churning it out. You're not having to think about it. And that takes time as a quarterback. And even though he's got experience in the league and he's not a rookie, that's all understood. But to understand the finer details, retrain your brain a little bit, retrain your feet a whole lot, I think that's going to take a little bit of time. And I expect that to be a constant, never-ending battle through the season to get better every week.
He's a player that we've seen at this point in his career. He has that tendency when there's a little bit of heat to roll out, right? And he had a moment like that on Sunday where the pocket was actually pretty good, but the timer, it felt like, went off in his head, and he had that roll to the left unnecessarily.
You talking about the one down there where he threw incomplete to Brian Thomas Jr. in the end zone? Because he kind of did that a little bit.
No, there was one earlier. Another one earlier. I forget who he completed it to because I can remember the two incompletions.
I think it was to Brenton Strange.
Yeah, the touchdown and obviously the drop ball by Brian Thomas Jr. were the only two incompletions for Trevor on the day. But he has a little bit of that in his game. I wonder how much of that.
Strange play, by the way, the one you're talking about. Yeah. I'm pretty much positive of that, which was a really good play.
How much of that is muscle memory at this point for Trevor Lawrence? Because the offensive line hasn't been good enough for him to trust the pocket a whole lot
in years past.
In his time here,
yeah,
right?
In years past, I would definitely in years past I would say that. But in the preseason this year, offensive line has been outstanding. Much improved from last year. It helps, too, that you're playing some backups a little bit.
No doubt.
and they're not bringing their A game as far as pass rushers go, and a lot of defenses aren't doing the exotic blitzing, and they're not doing stunts in games a whole lot and attacking protections. But offensive line, I think overall has been really good. And as a quarterback, there's always a clock kind of ticking in your brain, to where, hey, look, the ball needs to be out by this point. And then once you get to that point as a quarterback, I'm sure that, look, then it's like, okay, I can't put it all on my offensive line, and now I need to go ahead and escape the pocket because pressure's probably coming. And I get that, and he did that on that one play I think you're referring to where he got it complete, Brenton Strange, which was a heck of a throw, and also just credit to Brenton Strange for really working on that play and finding an opening, and he's getting – I think he's just getting better and better as the days wear on. But yeah, as a quarterback, I mean, here's the reality. You need to make those kind of plays. And Liam's talked about it openly. He said that a lot of times, you can draw up the great plays all you want. But at a certain point, there's a point where the play's not going to work, and players need to make plays. And, a couple examples of that. The play that Trevor made there to Brenton Strange, even though he probably didn't need to leave the pocket, there was another throw late in the game that Mullen made to the tight end that was like, wait a minute, he's throwing it. He's completely covered. And I can't remember which tight end it was. Was it 84 or 86? Can't remember.
Had to be Hunter Long.
It was Long.
And he just throws it up, and it's like, oh, no, that's not there. And he makes a great play. And you're like, okay, well, that's what the coach is talking about. Sometimes when the play is not drawn up perfectly, you got to make a play. And the more guys that can do that, the more guys that are going to stand out and make the team.
All right, let's go through this offensive line because Anton didn't play, Chuma Edoga didn't play, Wyatt Milam left early in this game. So just from this Saturday, first off, how did the tackles look to you?
I thought the tackles did really well. And, in fact, in particular, Fred Johnson, I thought, had a wonderful game. Played a lot of snaps. And the knock on him has been the pre-snap errors, false starts, not finishing, sometimes, taking a play off here and there. And it's one of the reasons why a man of his stature, when I say stature, he's a giant human being, and he's a big, powerful man. He's bounced around. And I think part of the reason why he's bounced around in the league is that the consistency, he's having a hard time finding that. And I thought in this game, the consistency was really good, and he was mauling some guys. That was impressive.
Did it stay that way? Did he fade at all?
No, that part I think was really, really good, Mike. In that, and I'm glad you asked that because that's what we're talking about. Sometimes the fatigue sets in,
right,
and then the concentration falls off. Okay, you get a false start, or you don't get a finish on a play, or you have a half-ass block, and you get the running back blown up, and he gets hit so hard he fumbles. Those are things that can happen in those situations, but I thought he was really consistent throughout. Walker Little, I thought, was very solid in the game. And then once they got snaps later on, Patrick McCary ended up jumping out to right tackle a little bit, looked good, and he looked good at guard as well. Thought it was a very solid effort by him, especially because he looked like he was still trying to get comfortable in the practices leading up to his first preseason action because, he missed a lot of time with the back.
Yeah, no doubt. All right, well, interiorly then, just kind of go through who stood out, the guards and the centers.
Yeah, I think Ezra Cleveland continues to play really well, and that's been impressive and fun watching him. Hainsey, to go at center for a minute, he's been wildly consistent, impressed by him, even though he's got legs that are probably about the same size as mine. I'm sure the players give him a little bit of grief on that. At right guard, again, McCary's, I thought was very solid. Milam had limited exposure.
Right.
Ended up getting hurt there on the end of, I think, of his first drive, but was very good while he was in there.
Monheim?
He's a good player, and it's the reason why that the trade for Luke Fortner happened. And let me just say this about Luke Fortner. He got better this year. Give him credit. He got better. I think the coaching was better for him. I think the concentration, the effort, the attention to detail, I thought he was having a really good camp. So give him credit. He's been working hard at his craft, and he got better. And the New Orleans Saints were in a position that they needed a guy at that position, and the Jaguars were in a position that they needed a guy at the defensive tackle spot. So I think it was a good trade for both parties.
All right, if the Jags were playing tomorrow and they're all available, what's your starting five look like?
And they're all healthy?
They're all healthy.
Yeah, okay. Well, Hainsey's a given at center. Ezra Cleveland's a given at guard. And then I think the rest of it is up in the air. You know, I mean, if Anton Harrison had been available this week, we probably might have seen him maybe get some snaps at left tackle. In my opinion.
Is that more because they want to challenge Walker Little, or they're looking for the best fit for Anton?
I think that's a great question. You know, are they considering moving him, or are they thinking about, okay, well, look, if we get some injuries, what's the best way we can go about it?
How do we handle it?
You've heard me saying this for years. I think Anton's the left tackle. I remember I was talking about move Anton the left and put the big man, Cam Robinson, at right tackle, and I've been saying it for a while. I think Anton is the best natural left tackle on this roster. Now, will they move him? I don't know. You know, I think that's the first domino that needs to fall before you figure out what everything else is going to look like. I think, and in their mind, are they thinking about that? I don't even know if they're thinking about that, but I think it's got to be something to consider.
All right, if Anton stays at right tackle.
And the reason I say that, Mike, is that if you looked at a lineup to where Anton was at right, McCary was at right, or Wyatt Milam was at right guard with Hainsey and then Ezra and then Walker Little, out of those five, I mean, I would say that Walker Little would be the weak link out of those five. And that's why I think that you have to think about that move, and it's a big one. And Anton's got to end up kind of building a little bit of positive bank account information, you know what I mean, as far as like building trust to play at right tackle, because the reality is last year he wasn't very consistent. If you're going to move a guy over there to that left tackle, what do you got to do? You got to trust him. You got to trust him, and you got to be able to trust him wholeheartedly.
All right, if he stays at right tackle, who's the right guard?
I think in the first game will be McCary.
Okay.
You know, just because, again, kind of the sample size with Wyatt Milam, which is the one guy that I think that would have an opportunity there, and I think Edoga would also be in the conversation. But Wyatt Milam has given this offensive line, I think, a little bit of an attitude. His finish, I think, has been, somewhat of like a cold. It's kind of filtered throughout the room. I think everybody else is kind of keyed in on that, and I'm sure they're coaching that. But, you know, when you have a rookie come in that kind of sets the tempo in that category and then that department, I think it gets contagious and it filters down to the rest of everybody else. And it doesn't have to be a rookie if it's just a veteran guy that comes in and does something like that. So that's been good. But I mean, if Anton stays at right, then I think it's McCary at right guard, and then Walker Little left tackle, and then obviously Hainsey and Ezra Cleveland at the center and the guard spot. And then, you know, you kind of go from there. But I would say this, I think the season is something that's going to be in flux. You know, I think because, you know, when you have little exposure with coaches and players together and a small sample size on what the coaches have seen with their eyes, usually a new staff is willing to tweak and alter the lineup a little bit for the betterment of the long term. And so I would say this, whatever the starting lineup may be on opening day, you know, write it in pencil, because it could change.
Okay, let's say it's Little, Cleveland, Hainsey, McCary, Anton, right? The five presumptive guys right now. Milam's on the team. Monheim's on the team. Adoga's on the team. Fred Johnson, Cole Van Lannon, are they both on the team?
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I think too.
Yeah. I think you're dead on right there.
Right, those 10, and that's your offensive line group.
Yeah, and
now that we don't know, I mean, Cole Van Lannon at practice today, Tone, or is he? No, he's out for the preseason.
Yeah,
so
he's out for the entirety of the preseason.
He wasn't one of those guys. When I said everyone's back, not the guys who are on an extended absence.
Right. Other option you have is that what is the option you have to put him on the injured list for he's out for the first 4 games? I mean, that's also a possibility for
right.
Van
Which saves your roster spot.
Yeah, and then he
allows you to see how they play together and all that stuff. All right, we got to take a time out here. Jeff Lageman's in studio with us. We're checking the tape as we always do on a Tuesday. We welcome your thoughts, your calls, your texts and tweets and the like. 641-1010 on the Checkmate Coatings phone lines. You're listening to Jaguars Today on 1010XL and 92.5 FM. Hey, folks, Mike Dempsey here for Pella Windows and Doors. Love looking out my Pella windows. My house looks fantastic. It's more energy efficient as well, and I'm just so happy I went with the best in the business. Don't go cheaping out, folks. It's an investment in your biggest investment, which is your home. Pella Windows and Doors, Consumer Reports' #1 company in all the major window categories. And right now, 0% financing for 60 months. 5 years of interest-free payments on the best windows and doors in the business. Online at PellaJacks.com or just stop by their showroom on Phillips Highway. That's Pella Windows and Doors.
1010XL, Jaguars Today, Tuesday.
Kept pest-free by Julington Creek Pest Control. Our family serving yours since 1984.
Life is just so busy this time of year. Between work, the kids' games, family vacations, I need a yard hero to free up my weekends.
You mean somebody who does mowing and trimming?
Yeah.
How about mosquito control?
Yeah.
What about irrigation and pet waste removal?
You do that too? You're my lawn hero.
Find your lawn hero at heroeslawncare.com. Heroes Lawn Care, because every lawn needs a hero.
Maxed out on credit cards, struggling with high interest debt? You could pay it all off in days with Loan Pronto's Rapid Equity Loan. Hey, it's Prosser here. Get cash out now without touching your low-rate first mortgage. No appraisals, no waiting, no BS. The Rapid Equity Loan Program at Loan Pronto is amazing. One Loan Pronto client just got $300,000 approved in under 24 hours. They paid off debt, renovated their kitchen, and cut their monthly expenses by $1,800. That's a huge turnaround. Instant approvals, low rates, no hard credit pull up front. That's Loan Pronto. Listen, your home equity is yours. Use it. Get cash to consolidate your debt down to one easy, low monthly payment. Call Loan Pronto now for a free instant appraisal for your home and see how much cash you can get today. Loan Pronto is an A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau and have nearly 2,500 5-star Google reviews. Call now and start the conversation. Go to loanpronto.com or call 999-1508. That's loanpronto.com.
Jaguars Today.
From the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios at 1010XL.
Collisions happen on every play in football. Collisions also happen every day on the road. If you need auto body repair, from a $30 job to a $30,000 job, trust San Jose Collision in Mandarin.
Have you ever dreamed of owning a handcrafted cabin tucked into a 1,000-acre regenerative farm? Well, now you can. Frank Frangie here for the farm at Okefenokee. It's just an hour north of Jacksonville and Folkestone. At the farm, it's not just about living off-grid. It's about reconnecting with nature, with food, and with community. Exploring hiking trails, kayak through Blackwater creeks, or just watch the sunset over your olive trees. It's a way of life. You can learn more. Go to Okie Farm. That's OKEfarm.com for your new way of life.
The dog days of summer are here, and Superior Fence and Rail is throwing you a bone. Right now, get 5% off any fence project 100 linear feet or more through August 22nd. Whether you're looking for added privacy or to keep your pets and family safe, now is the perfect time to invest. Contact Superior Fence and Rail today for your free estimate. Cannot be combined with other offers. New contracts only.
When you're on the fence, about a fence, SuperiorFenceandRail.com.
If you are an experienced electrician looking for your next big opportunity, look no further than the Miller Electric Company, a trusted name in the industry for over 96 years. At Miller Electric, we tackle the biggest projects in the city, offering you the chance to showcase your skills on a grand scale. We believe in rewarding hard work with the best pay, top-notch benefits, and an unbeatable culture where people actually care about each other. Take your career to new heights with Miller Electric Company. Apply today at millercareers.com. Miller Electric, an equal opportunity employer.
The 30th annual Reggie Hunt Memorial Golf Tournament fundraiser is Friday, October 24th at Amelia River Golf Club. All proceeds support Big Brothers Big Sisters. Register at the Big Brothers Big Sisters events page.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Jeff Lageman Tuesday is serviced by Napa Auto Care on 1010XL.
All right, checking the tape with Jeff Lageman. We'll do it again next Tuesday. And, well, we won't check any tape the Tuesday after that, but we'll check that Labor Day tape, Tony, I guess. Whatever the case may be. Little what?
Look ahead tape.
Look ahead. Yes, there you go. A little preview tape of the Carolina Panthers coming to town. It's coming. It is coming quickly. We're 19 days away from the opener for your Jacksonville Jaguars. If you got a question or a comment, on Jaguar football and you want to join the program, 641-1010 on the Checkmate Coatings phone lines. Let's go out to the west side to start the day with Eric. Eric, you're on Check the Tape Tuesday. Go ahead, bud.
Good morning, fellas. How y'all doing?
Good. What's up?
All right. I couldn't wait for Tuesday today. But on my tape that I seen and that I was looking real closely was the first half of the O-lineman group. Like I said yesterday, I want to start a petition to start Fred Johnson. Only because he looks very comfortable either playing the left or the right side. He looks real big and physical, and on that goal line run with Tootin, the way he finished that block with a pancake with an extra syrup on the side, that was really impressive. I don't think I've seen that from Anton in a long time, but I think, like you said, if you could move Anton to the left, or you could put Fred Johnson on the left, I wouldn't shake that. And other than that, I would like to have Fred Johnson starting.
I think you got a strong opinion there that is probably can be argued that might be the case. I mean, I think, Eric, you got a great observation there. I mean, the power that Fred Johnson has is comparable to nobody on this roster. I mean, just look, Wyatt Milan finishes really good, and he's consistent with it, more so than Fred Johnson, but he just doesn't have the sheer mass of Fred Johnson, which gives him the ability. And he was going after a linebacker on one play that well after when he had to block him. And I was like, man, I said, is this the new Fred Johnson? If that's the case, I mean, if he showed up and did that every day, every week, hands down, he would be the starting right tackle. Hands down. Wouldn't even be an argument.
And so what is this more dependent on, you think, Logs, for Fred Johnson to get that opportunity? Is it their comfort level with Anton going to the left side, or is it just a Fred Johnson versus Anton straight-up competition? I mean, there's always competition. I get that. But some guys, you kind of mentally are putting your starting five together. I think Liam Cohen said they kind of want to have that five. They want to know who that's going to be by the time this joint practice happens on Thursday.
Sure.
Right? I mean, time is getting short here. Yeah. So what is the path? What needs to happen for Fred Johnson to have that opportunity?
To be a starting right tackle?
Yes.
Trust. I mean,
can he earn? Does he have enough time to earn that trust by opening day?
That's the hard part, and it's not just trust. I think with Fred Johnson, and I'm not saying that that's what they're planning on doing, but I mean, if you were going to do something like that, again, you got to have the assets in the bank, and the assets create the trust. When I say assets, that means that time in and time out, every time you walk onto the grass, you show a level of consistency and performance that the coaches feel good about, to where then they can trust it. And I think is there a level of trust with Anton? Look, last year he didn't play very well. I mean, let's be real. He had a terrible year. He went from being a pretty good rookie to where you felt like, okay, this guy's going to get better after his rookie year.
Yeah.
On the rise. And last year it was like, come on. Mm-hmm. I mean, you expected more out of that guy. I don't want to say it was just completely terrible. There were plays, though, that were completely terrible, to where it was like he didn't even care. Didn't even finish. I mean, didn't even come close to finishing. So I think this is, if you're going to make the move like that, you got to have the bank, okay, on both guys, the level of trust for both guys. Can you trust Anton moving to left, and can you trust the consistency of Fred Johnson playing right? You do have some options if Fred Johnson doesn't have that trust level in the bank, so to speak, because there are other guys that can play right tackle. Wyatt Milan being one of them. Now, I don't know what the situation is on his injury, but also McCary can play right tackle. Edoga, I would rather leave inside. I don't know if he's got enough length to consistently play tackle, but you got some options, and we'll just see where the level of trust is, if that is even a factor.
We've talked about all the different computations here on the offensive line, but not specifically about the trust factor, especially. Where is that with Walker Little right now? Because that's the guy that if they are going to move someone to the left side, that means Walker's not playing.
Well, essentially, I think it goes back to what I was saying about Walker Little, is that if you had, your starting lineup being Anton, McCary, Hainsey, Ezra Cleveland, and then Walker Little, out of those five guys, I would say that Walker Little is the weak link. And I'm not saying he's bad. I'm just saying that out of those 5, he would be the one that you would say, we'd like maybe get a little bit better there. And look, I really like Walker Little. I think he gives it everything he has. There's been some times where he hasn't been available with injury, but also it would give you the ability to allow him to be the swing tackle. And so that's not necessarily a bad thing. And he also can play inside. But yeah, to go back to it, you're always trying to find the best 5. And I don't know if he is in that best 5 conversation right now, in my opinion.
By the way, Liam Cohen, speaking after practice, just wrapped up short time ago, said it's a lower body issue for Wyatt Milam, and he's week to week, and said the same for Caleb Ransaw. So, hopefully those guys are back sooner rather than later.
Looks like Wyatt got rolled up on.
No, it was weird. He had a bull rush, Tony, and guy was pretty powerful, and you're backing up and you're trying to get the anchor thrown out, so to speak, to slow down the progress of the power rush.
Yeah.
And so he's just kind of backpedaling and feet hitting the ground, and I don't know exactly what it is, but definitely didn't get rolled up on. It was just that power rush and then trying to slow it down.
All right, let's step aside, take a time out here. When we come back, let's talk offensive skill position players. Don't worry, plenty of time for defense coming up in hour number 2, and almost time to talk more special teams prowess, but we didn't get to see the game winner, or a potential game winner at least. So we'll get into coaching decisions as well going forward. It's a Check the Tape Tuesday. Jeff Lageman in studio here with us on Jaguars Today on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Jaguars
Today.
From the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors studios of 1010XL. Every summer, there's one Saturday night you've got to be in Daytona.
Hey, boys, watch this.
The NASCAR Coke Zero Sugar 400. Brought to you by the Plumbers and Pipe Fitters Local Union 234. From Jacksonville's NASCAR station. 1010XL.
Frank Frangie here. It's always truck season at Nimnick Chevrolet. Well, this month, you can save up to 20% off a new Silverado or get financing rates as low as 0%. Unlike most dealerships, Nimnick Chevrolet has the largest inventory on the ground, ready for you to explore. With their extensive selection, you're sure to find your perfect truck at Nimnick. So shop online at nimnickchevy.com or visit the dealership at Park and Cassett. Who's got more new Chevrolets at the best prices? Nobody but Nimnick. Chevrolet, together, let's drive.
Jaguars Today Tuesday.
Kept pest-free by Julington Creek Pest Control.
If life blindsided you tomorrow, would your family struggle? I'm Cody with Harborstone Financial, and I can help. One call could protect your family for life. 904-885-9566. Harborstone Financial.
One man, one hammer. One place to hear it drop. Hammer Time with Hayes, weekdays on The Frangie Show.
On 1010XL, driven by Kia on Atlantic. Southside Kia is now Kia on Atlantic.
Our slogan, Know Before You Blow, applies to more than just DUI cases. Hi, I'm attorney Lee Lockett of Lockett Law. Battery charges can result in jail time and criminal convictions too, so know before you blow a gasket and hit a loved one or a stranger. Drug crimes like possession of marijuana and cocaine will land you in cuffs too, so know before you blow. In a boating under the influence case, you also have the option to blow or not to blow. So know your options. Know before you blow. Go to knowbeforeyouBlow.com now. Offices Jacksonville.
David here with Royal Pest Services. It's back. Our summer Centricon Termite Special. New installs begin as low as $249. And if you have existing Centricon, but your renewal is through the roof, we can transfer you to Royal at no cost. Visit RoyalPestServices.com to schedule a free estimate.
Blue here for the Blue Crab House, located right off of San Jose. It's on Julington Creek Road. They've been around since 1996. Indoor-outdoor dining. Also, takeout is available at the Blue Crab House. Open 4:30 to 9, Tuesday through Saturday. Sunday, noon until 9. Remember, Tuesday, $2 margaritas. Wednesday, $1 oyster night. How about the blue crabs? How about my personal favorite, the Canadian snow crabs? Whatever it is that you fancy, you get it right there. The Blue Crab House.
Let's get the work done. Training camp is here.
Up, quick feet.
1010XL's training camp coverage is backed by Roland Reach Plumbing and Green Acres Sporting Goods.
Go, here we go. Let's go. It's live now. Let's go.
Bueller.
Stay cooler with Bueller.
Hey, Jason, got a minute?
Always. What's on your mind?
This time of year, my air conditioner is running non-stop. Hot all day, hot all night. It has to run constantly just to keep up.
Well, that's what they do.
But if something happens to it in the middle of a 2-week heat wave, I'm in trouble, Jason. I can't wait 3 days or 2 days or even the next day for service. If you can't get someone here today, I'm sweating by tonight. What if it breaks, Jason?
You call me, pal. That's what we do. Bueller Air and Plumbing.
But you're probably swamped with calls from everyone else's AC that ran nonstop and then broke in a heat wave, so they called you because that's what you do.
But we always have room for an emergency. At Bueller Air and Plumbing, we have techs standing by because we know these things happen.
So I don't need to worry. Wow. That time you calmed me down without even using the sunglasses.
Oh, I was reaching for them.
Stay cooler with Bueller.
Visit BuellerAir.com.
Hi, this is Dave Barker. Want to grow your hair back?
IHRS, right here in Jacksonville, is the only hair transplant clinic in the Southeast to offer multi-unit hair grafting and the 45-minute PRP treatments. Grow your hair back. Call now for a free in-person evaluation. 904-777-IHRS, 904-777-4477, or visit hairforme.com.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Check the Tape Tuesday with Jeff Lageman is brought to you by Napa Auto Care on 1010XL.
All right, Jags practice is done. We'll bring you any key points from Liam Cohen a little bit later on in the show. Speaking after practice today, this one logs on Twitter from our friend Bush Drive Rich on a Check the Tape Tuesday with the receivers battling for the 5th and 6th spot on the depth chart. Who's the odd man out in the wide receiver room? Let's put it this way. Who are the guys who are in the receiver room? Okay, Brian Thomas, Travis Hunter, De'Ami Brown, Parker Washington.
Mm-hmm, yeah, those four are locks.
Mortal locks,
yeah,
right?
Four guys right there are locks.
Who's your 5th receiver?
I think that's an interesting question because is it 5 or is it 6? You know what I mean, as far as what they're going to keep.
If it's 5, you want what? A guy who's more inclined to play special teams?
Correct.
At that spot? Okay.
Yeah, and then that's right now, I don't know who that guy would be, but I think it's an interesting debate. The guy that has, I think, special teams ability is Chandler Brayboy, which is the wide receiver from Milan. And he was an undrafted guy. You know, he's a 6'1", 200 guy as far as, height, weight. And he's got the ability. He's got the desire. Plays hard on special teams, and he's pretty damn good on special teams. As a wide receiver, he's okay. But that's going to be an interesting watch because if you were to pick also a possible other guy would be Austin Trammell because he gives you return ability in the return game, punt returner. He also is pretty good as a receiver. Thought he did really well the last couple games. I think he's a notch up from Trenton Irwin, who's also gotten some reps, kind of in that second group.
Where does he separate from Irwin in your
speed?
Mine.
I think he's got more speed than Irwin. Probably about the same as far as, the catch ability and all that.
Because they can both return punts, right?
Just the speed. Speed's, I think, a different factor. And maybe I'm off on that, but, he just plays faster from what I can see.
All right, people listening are saying, I have not heard the name Joshua Cephas come up. So let's say they're keeping 6.
Yeah, Joshua's faded. He's faded a little bit. Now, I will say that, what was it, the catch that he made that was kind of behind him and on top of him right away at a key moment in the game? A hell of a catch. Mm-hmm. But his special teams contribution is like nil. It's just not good.
But if you were just looking at it purely as a receiver, is he the best of the rest after the top 4 guys?
He's in that conversation with those 3, the other 2 guys.
So
with Irwin and Trammell.
How would you do it? You got your top 4. Would you keep 5 or 6?
Well, I think your whole objective here, for numbers wise, because you're probably going to end up having 4 backs. I'm going 5, but I think it's going to be an interesting watch what they do there. And here's the other thing. We're considering and counting Travis Hunter as a wide receiver here.
Right.
You can't double count him. You know what I mean? So if you actually counted him on offense, then you're keeping 5 wide receivers, not counting him.
does the fact that you plan on playing him both ways, which it's not the conditioning aspect, it's just you're exposing yourself to injury every time you have a rep, right? I mean, that has nothing to do necessarily with conditioning. You can make a tackle, get hurt, you can whatever, right? So if you feel like the exposure risk is a little bit higher with Travis Hunter, does that make you more inclined to maybe keep an extra guy in the wide receiver room?
No, not necessarily, because, here's the thing. I think that, sometimes we get caught up on the 53, when in reality you also have a 16-man practice squad. So, some of the decision-making that goes into making the final roster decisions are, how can we keep the guys that we want to keep, not just on the 53, but also maybe getting some of those guys to the practice squad. So if you can keep an Austin Trammell or a Joshua Cephas or a Trenton Irwin on a practice squad and you feel very comfortable that he's not going to get scooped up, then, maybe your number's 5. But if you feel like, you need it, and then you also feel like you're going to lose him, that guy that you want to keep, if you put him on practice squad, then you make it 6. I mean, but again, the whole thinking, for years we always thought of it as just the 53. But you've got to be able to think of how can you keep everybody, because there's different tools to keep them. There's the 53, there's injury reserve, and then there's practice squad. And then also the PUP, which got to be on the active to get the PUP for the first 4 weeks of the season. So you have to kind of consider all of the tools that you have to keep the guys that you want.
Yeah, basically, though, if you want to get those guys to the PUP, you're going to have to expose somebody else, right? I mean, even if you say, all right, we can stash Cole Van Lanen or Caleb Bransaw, and again, I'm not saying that I know what their timetables will be, but just as an example, you got to declare them on the 53, therefore exposing the guy you want to put on the 53, and that's just part of the game, and it happens around the NFL. You said they'll keep all the top 4 running backs, right? Where do you stand on what you've seen from these guys? I feel like, Tony and I have been talking about Bajal Tutin feels like the guy who gives you a little bit of everything when it comes to power, speed, ability to make people miss, things like that. Do you think we're going to see? Is it going to be ETN on first and second, third, what is it going to be? Is it going to be Tank Bigsby on early downs, first and second down, ETN as a third down back? Is it going to be ETN as a featured back? How do you think this is going to play out?
I think it's going to be an interesting watch. Let me just add this too. The Jaguars had a transaction that was announced this morning where they brought in another running back.
That dude better buckle up because he's going to get about 50 carries this week.
That's where I was going with that, okay?
Yeah.
So the guy you just brought in and LaQuindon Jackson, who has been on your roster the entirety of camp, are going to get a lot of reps on Saturday because you're going to keep 4 guys, so you don't exactly have guys.
Yeah, JaQuindon Jackson, this will be his first start in the NFL.
He'll be a workhorse.
Right? He had 5 for 9 this week. Let me just circle back a little bit. We're talking about the offensive line in terms of pass protection a lot. How has the run game looked to you? Because, they average about 3.5 yards a carry collectively. But the way I pointed out, if you take out JaQuindon Jackson's 5 for 9, they average about 4.1 yards a carry, which is serviceable. It's not eye-popping.
What's the one thing that's missing out of that?
Screen game?
No, I'm saying just, out of the rushing numbers, you really don't have a big play. And that's yet. I mean, typically you add an explosive run somewhere in there that's like a 30 or 40 yarder, and that gets you up to that number, Mike, that you really would like to see, which is 4.5 plus per carry. And we know that number 1 and also 33 have got the abilities to turn on the jets. We know that number 4 has big playability. So I think the more that those guys play, the more comfort level that they have, then I think you're going to see those explosive plays and those numbers creep up.
All right, so no definitive. I think it's kind of still a mystery how they deploy these guys.
I bet you if you ask the coaches how they're going to divvy up play time, I would bet that they would go, well, we're not sure yet.
Yeah.
And I think what they would say that in a public setting, but it would be the honest answer, is because, look, you got 4 guys you feel really good about. I mean, really good about. I mean, 33, you love his ability to what he's shown you. And for me, I love the guy. I think he's, and again, ball security's got to be, his number 1
Hasn't been an issue, though, since that first day of minicamp.
Hasn't been an issue yet. Love what LaQuint Allen Jr. does in pass protection and as a receiving back. Bigsby, I've always really liked him. Biggest problem, again, with him is, every 30 carries, he puts it on the grass. Can't have that. And Etienne is a very good receiver out of the backfield. I don't like him as a runner so much. But, yeah, there's qualities with all four of those guys. The one guy that kind of embodies all of them is Bajal, too.
Bajal. Yep. All right, we'll come back. Let's turn it over to defense here in hour number 2. You can get in at 641-1010 on the Checkmate Coatings phone lines if you have any kind of specific Jaguar-related question for Jeff Lageman on a Check the Tape Tuesday. This is Jaguars Today on 1010XL and 92.5 FM. Hey, folks, Mike Dempsey for Apex Roofing and Contracting locally here in Jacksonville Beach. You know the rainy season around here is no joke. Look, if your roof has any kind of damage, if it leaks, if it's just plain worn out, if it's time for a new one, Apex is local, dependable. They're going to show up on time using only premium materials with ironclad warranties, and financing is available with Apex as well. Don't let your budget stand in the way of going with the best. Skip the storm season scramble and reach for the peak. Apex Roofing and Contracting in Jacksonville Beach, online at apexroofingfl.com.
Jaguars Today. You're at the home of the Jaguars in the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Door Studios. Superior products, exceptional service. Dan Hicken and Jeff Prosser are the drill.
What this place needs is an excitement enema. We're going to make this place fast and loose.
Mornings.
Abundanza.
On 1010XL.
Hey, Hicken here. I couldn't be any happier than to join the George Moore Chevrolet family. When I say family, I mean it. Visit their beautiful showroom today off Atlantic Boulevard. Find out exactly what I'm talking about. No pressure, just friendly help. And whether you want a car, a truck, SUV, electric, pre-owned, you name it, George Moore Chevrolet has it. And if you can't make it over to Atlantic Boulevard, no problem. MooreChevy.com is easy to navigate as any site you will try. It's never been more easy to use. George Moore Chevrolet. Together, let's drive.
Chicken Salad Chick has scratch-made Southern-style chicken salad in every bite. It's quick and delicious, so why wait? Come taste the best chicken salad today at Town Center, Durbin Park, Butler Point, and now in Ortega Park. Chicken Salad Chick.
This Date in Sports History is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On August 19th, 1921, Ty Cobb becomes the fourth and youngest player to achieve 3,000 career hits, achieving the milestone against the Boston Red Sox.
The best game day parking in all of Duval is at Tailgaters Parking. Are you ready for some football? Tailgaters is just steps away on the east side of the stadium. Visit tailgatorsparking.com and secure your season parking pass today.
Home of the Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
Summer's wrapping up, and life is picking back up. Early mornings, long days, and a to-do list that doesn't quit. And neither should you. Who has time to slow down due to body pain? That's why there's Aleve to keep you going. With just one pill, Aleve delivers longer-lasting body pain relief per dose compared to other leading OTC-branded pain relievers. Aleve helps you keep moving from sunup to sundown with up to 12 hours of pain relief per dose, so you can keep moving and be ready for whatever's next. Use as directed.
Hi, folks. I'm Frank Frangie, and I got to tell you, I can't fix anything. I would be so lost with plumbing problems if not for Duck Duck Rooter. But everybody knows to call the Duck. Well, I do too. Whether it's plumbing, air conditioning, septic, they handle all of it, and nobody does a better job than our friends at Duck Duck Rooter. Any of those needs you have, call them today, 904-862-6769, or go to duckduckrooter.com. If you've got problems, call Duck Duck Rooter. They'll handle it. I guarantee it.
Mark Watson with Hardball Creative, letting you know that Hardball now offers web stores, so your employees can order their own branded gear, and you have more time for Wordle. Check it out at hardballcreative.com.
Hardball Creative. Hardball does it all.
I'm here with Clayton Bromberg of Underwood Jewelers. Clayton, you have told us about the importance of cutting a diamond properly and how it relates back to beauty and value. But how do you judge the color of a diamond?
Frank, that's an important question when it comes to diamonds. You see, a man or a woman really have no color memory. Now, you can remember basic colors like blue or red, but considering we can see thousands of slight variations of the same color, you have to have a master color to relate these two. Anybody that's ever tried to match a paint color on a wall knows exactly what I'm talking about. So we judge the color of diamonds using a set of certified master diamonds from the American Gem Society. This is the only way you can really make an accurate call on the grade because these slight variations in color from colorless to very slight yellow have huge price differences.
That's at Underwoods, where diamonds are graded accurately in San Marco, Avondale, and the shops of Ponte Vedra.
This is your local sports update. I'm RJ Saunders for 1010XL. This update brought to you by Southern Oak Insurance. The Jacksonville Jaguars have made the following roster moves the team has announced today. The Jags have signed offensive lineman Jerome Carvin, as well as running back Kevin Harris, while waiving wide receiver Darius Lassiter, as well as defensive lineman Eli Mostert. Right now, 87 degrees at 11 o'clock. Time in 10, brought to you by Bueller Air and Plumbing. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Hey, yeah, I want to shoot, baby, shoot.
Jeff Lageman Tuesday
is brought to you by
Napa Auto Care on 1010XL.
All right, I'm sure Tony will get to this when we go around the league coming up later this hour, but what a massive oof for the Colts. Anthony Richardson cannot beat out Daniel Jones for the starting quarterback job on opening day. Colts have announced that Daniel Jones will be the guy. What has he got, like a 35% winning percentage or something like that?
Do you guys think that anything else was going to happen in that battle?
I thought honestly, Daniel Jones would probably be the starter, but I did think in the back of my mind, like if it's at all close, why wouldn't you go with the young guy that you invested a draft pick in to at least find out one way or the other? I don't think Daniel Jones is leading him to any kind of promise.
I don't either, but I mean, AR has just been bad.
Yeah.
Like, it's hard to look past that play where he dislocated his finger. It's not all on him, but a lot of it's on him.
Well,
right? Like, someone's got to communicate something at some point to let somebody know. And can you see something on a free rusher? You know, like, it was just, and it's to the side he should be looking at.
Tony,
like, crazy.
I can't get past tapping out.
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
Yeah.
I mean, your quarterback's trying to tap out because he's tired. I mean, if you ever tapped out, I'd ship you out.
I got to go, guys. All right. On the text line, designed by Lifetime Enclosures, and we'll get to some defensive questions here for Logs, but there's so many great NFL players that could have played both ways. There's a reason why they don't. With an undisclosed injury after one preseason game, I've lost all confidence that Hunter can do it, and on and on. And you go, by the way, Travis Hunter back at practice today. Would have played Sunday had it been the regular season.
He would have played.
Like, why are you sticking Travis Hunter out there?
Is this overreaction Tuesday?
I guess.
Did I show up on the wrong day?
Look, I don't know if he can do it or not, but if you're basing it on the fact that they didn't play him in the second preseason game.
Yeah.
You know.
I thought this was check the tape, not overreaction Tuesday.
Yeah. Anyway, he does acknowledge he thinks he'll be a great
but I mean,
pick for the
I get the point. I mean, and that is something that I think is going to bear worth watching. And everybody that's on the outside looking in, that's one of the things that they're going to be looking at because the exposure is real. The more injury for a player that's going two ways. And but the reality is and I've said this, I'm going to say it again. You know, the greatest predictor of the future is the past. And he played over 2,600 snaps going back to 23 and 24. So why do you think that he can't do it going forward? Okay, well, yeah, they're bigger and faster and stronger and all that around them. I get that. But they're also pretty damn big and pretty fast in college football, too. And Travis Hunter is a special athlete. I think the biggest question mark that I had is not so much the injury thing because, look, injuries are going to happen and exposure is more, yes. I think the injury rate with wide receivers and cornerbacks, if you looked at it from a percentage standpoint of overall injuries, might be smaller for those positions than some of the other ones. But my biggest question was stamina. But Travis is different. I mean, his body's just different, man. He's like Lance Armstrong, the Lance Armstrong of football. And I said this before. I'm saying it again. I mean, and it'd be cool to study his body and how his body can handle the rigors of so many snaps and the exertion level that he has and still just make it look like it's easy, which it's not human to me.
Yeah, the conditioning part, I think he's well proven. You know,
absolutely.
That's not going to be an issue. But again, don't want to get too bogged down on that. I do want to get into some specifics on the defense from what we did see this week. We saw Devin Lloyd stay out there longer than other, I'm going to use air quotes on starters. We saw Ventrell Miller mixing in with the ones logs. How much should we be paying attention to this particular position battle?
I would say very close attention to it. And if you go back and you looked at Devin's performance in the past couple of years, just, how many times have we talked about with Devin, he's got to make better decisions. He's got to learn the defense better and adjust better. And last year he didn't play very well at all. And so this year is, a new system and new learning process and a new coaching staff that, again, they didn't pick you. Okay. So remember, you don't have any bank account with that, so to speak. And Ventrell, I think, has been playing a little bit better. And the one thing that I like about Ventrell, and he's still got some progress to make. He's got to be more consistent, assignment error, et cetera. He had an assignment error going back to the Pittsburgh game. Remember the walk-in screen? That's his guy. Mm-hmm. You got to cover that guy. But he's got to be better to make, okay, I'm the guy. But I think that's a position that bears worth watching. And when I say that, not just because of Devin Lloyd. I think Devin Lloyd, Ventrell, Kaiser, Combs, the Sam linebacking position with Gardeck and Yasir Abdullah. To me, that's, along with safety, I think that is the other position that is going to be the most interesting watch as we come down the stretch to the final cut.
Do you think that Devin Lloyd's roster spot is in jeopardy?
Well, if you're not the starter, what do you got to be next? You got to be a special teams guy, and that's not really, watching him on special teams this past week, I would just say it was just okay. But I don't know. I mean, that's he's got another opportunity this week with the practice of the Dolphins, another opportunity in the game, and I'm sure that he's not going to get a pass, to say, hey, you're sitting out, you're a starter, because he hasn't shown enough to take that job yet. So I think that's something that needs to be watched very closely. Like I said, two positions that are worth watching with never taking your eyes off of it, so to speak, are the safety position and the linebacking positions.
It feels like they kind of protected Gardeck, right? Like there's no need to put him out there right now.
He's a lock.
Right. If you're in a base defense, Foye is going to be starting. Let's say one of Ventrell or Devin Lloyd's going to be starting. Is Gardeck the Sam linebacker?
Yes.
That's what I think.
Yeah, hands down.
So what about Yasir Abdullah's roster spot?
Great question. And I think the other positions impact that. And so let's have a conversation, okay? Let's say that Devin Lloyd is not your starter.
Okay.
Now he's a backup. The next thing that you've got to be able to have, on your resume is special teams ability. Okay, who's the better special teamer, Devin Lloyd, Yasir Abdullah? Any ideas?
I'm guessing Abdullah.
It's Abdullah, hands down. Hands down, not even close. Okay, so, I think that's an interesting conversation. But, then again, Devin can probably play two positions. And, again, like I've said, he hasn't been clean a lot in the last 2 years. Yasir Abdullah's a Sam and a Sam only. So the versatility is not there a lot with him. So all these things are things that you're, I think, going to be working through, and bears worth watching.
Kaiser's on the roster. What about Chad Muma?
I don't think he makes it.
Yeah, I don't think any of us projected Muma on the 53.
No.
Last week.
And the reason I say that is, one, Kaiser's a draft pick, and Kaiser's got to show more. And I've told you guys this before. Branson Combs, to me, is, I think, shown better than Jack Kaiser. And Combs is an undrafted guy from Wake Forest. I think he's a good football player, and he's shown well. I think he's probably shown so much that you probably couldn't stash him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
A lot of times you like to get guys that are practice squad that, that other teams haven't seen, but I think his level of play has been pretty good.
All right, so what's the number? How many in that room would you say? 5, 6?
Yeah, 5.
5. Okay. Yeah. So Ventrell's going to be on this team regardless, right?
Yeah, I think he makes it. He's
okay,
pretty good on special teams too.
Foye, Ventrell, Gardeck, Kaiser. You agree they'll all be on the 53?
So say them again.
Foye, Ventrell, Gardeck, and Kaiser.
Yes.
Okay, so maybe one spot.
Yeah, maybe one spot.
Maybe Devin Lloyd, maybe Yasir Abdul, maybe Combs.
You know, and
I mean, it could be. Well, our math might be off. They may keep 6.
Let me say this too: is that you can also, if you really want to just kind of alter the numbers a little bit, Gardeck is a rusher. Okay, so if you keep him,
you count him as an edge.
You could,
yeah,
right, and to get that extra spot at linebacker for your special teams unit. And here's the great question: which edge players besides 41 and 44 have impressed you?
Ogba had a big practice last week, but I haven't felt like he's been over the top. But I feel like they so targeted in going after him the day after the draft, like he had been on their radar. You know what I mean? So I'd be surprised, I guess, if he doesn't make the team.
DeJuan Smoot has showed up in the games.
You wouldn't?
No.
Okay.
Because let's say you had to make a decision between Smoot or Ogba. Who you taking?
I don't think I have to make that decision.
Yeah.
But if you did.
If I did, I would go Smoot.
I'm taking Smoot.
Okay.
Smoot's shown more. Got more versatility to kick down inside versus outside. And, I think, what you try to do when you bring guys in like that, especially when they're in year 10 or whatever, you're trying to find some depth. And when you bring 2 guys in, for example, you may end up only keeping one based upon what the emergence of the young guys have, who's emerged as a young player. Got 2 guys that are young players that, may be building blocks of the future. The guy that I really like is B.J. Green.
I think he led the team in pressures this week.
He's twitchy. Twitchy. And he's not a tall dude. He's 6'1" or whatever, 270. But, man, he's twitchy. I think he's got some skills.
All right, well, let's talk about some of those other young guys up front when we come back as well and where they fit in the mix and what the numbers game might be. Keep in mind, the roster will be set next Tuesday, not by this time next Tuesday, but by 4 p.m., the Jags have to have it down to the 53, as does every other team in the National Football League. 641-1010 on the Checkmate Coatings phone lines if you'd like to get a question in for Jeff Lageman. This is Jaguars Today on 1010XL and 92.5 FM. Hey, folks, Mike Dempsey here for big number 1, Duval Ford. Look, if you are a business owner with a lot of vehicles, they have fantastic fleet service with the Ford Pro Elite Series. It's the only Ford Pro Elite service center from Orlando to Atlanta. That's right here with Duval Ford on Cassett Avenue, and an unbeatable selection of F-150s, Super Duties, Broncos, on and on. It goes service, dependability, reliability. You'll get it all at Duval Ford online at duvalford.com.
Jaguars Today. From the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios of 1010XL. There's a key that opens a very special door. The Jaguars locker room. Go in the locker room with Hayes Carline to get closer to the Jags. Unlocked by Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors.
Hello, Jacksonville. This is Dr. Kevin Kaplan, team physician for your Jacksonville Jaguars. At Orthopedic Specialists of Jacksonville, we know not every injury happens on Sundays. Sometimes it's flag football, weekend yard work, or just playing with your kids. That's why we built a team of fellowship-trained orthopedic surgeons, experts in everything from knees and shoulders to spine and sports injuries. Whether you're chasing championships or chasing your dog, we've got you. Learn more at osjax.com. That's osjax.com.
It's a Jaguars Today Tuesday.
Kept pest-free by Julington Creek Pest Control.
It's tune-up time, and Florida Home AC, the official AC partner of the Jaguars, wants to partner with you for a cool summer season. Tune up your AC unit right now so it's running at peak performance when you need it most. Just call 777-4300 and order a tune-up for just $59. Keep your unit humming at optimal level. Log on to FloridaHomeAC.com and take advantage of their savings. Keep cool with Florida Home AC. That's 777-4300.
Jeff Lageman for Napa Auto Care Centers. This football season, make sure your ride can get to that tailgate or travel to the away game safely and dependably. You can trust the ASE certified professionals at any one of the 29 independently owned Napa Auto Care Centers and the quality Napa parts they use. Napa Auto Care Centers can handle everything: oil changes, air conditioning, brakes, engines, transmissions. Napa Auto Care Centers offers a nationwide 24-month, 24,000-mile peace of mind warranty on most repairs. Find one near you at jacksnapaautocare.com.
Wow.
1010XL and Channel 4 are partnering to bring you more high school football coverage than ever before. Check out our live streaming show on the multimedia platforms for both 1010XL and Channel 4 as games are happening live, debuting August 22nd, presented by Farrah and Farrah.
Living on Amelia Island, having fun in Fernandina Beach? No matter what brings you to the fun, cozy town, make sure you check out the tap room at Mocama Beer Company. With a full flight of craft creations, from the Cosmico IPA to the Motor, the perfect Pilsners and Lagers, matching memories and some Mocama magic is what it's all about. Mocama Beer Company in Fernandina Beach, near the big water where the sun is born. And look for more Mocama craft at your local Total Wine or ABC Liquors.
Did you know that basketball and volleyball were invented at the YMCA? That's right, and even today, the Y continues to lead the way in youth sports programming, from toddlers just starting out to teens ready to compete. The Y offers skill development, recreational play, and competitive leagues, all in a fun, supportive environment. Get your child in the game to build character and skills at the Y. Registration is now open for youth volleyball and soccer at fcymca.org.
Are you trapped in a high-rate mortgage, watching your hard-earned money vanish every month? Stop right now. At Loan Pronto, they are delivering the lowest mortgage rates in 3 years. Hey, Prosser here. Loan Pronto's rate reduction home loan program is a streamlined, low-cost way to slash your house payments by hundreds of dollars a month. Lock in at a fixed rate as low as 4.99% APR and close in as little as 2 weeks. No appraisal needed in most cases. And here's the kicker. You can skip your next 2 house payments entirely. Don't wait. Rates this low won't last. Call Loan Pronto now for your free, no-obligation quote. Loan Pronto is amazing. So start now by calling 904-999-1508. That's 904-999-1508. Or visit loanpronto.com to lock in your new low rate and skip those next 2 payments. 999-1508 or loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval, NMLS, consumeraccess.org.
1010XL is presented by Farrah and Farrah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Jeff Lageman Tuesday
is brought to you by
Napa Auto Care on 1010XL.
All right, checking the tape with Jeff Lageman and doing a little early roster projecting as well. Still got another game to factor in, but Tony, I think a lot of that is going to have been decided by at least after the joint practice with Miami, because I think, your frontline guys, we heard Liam Cohen say, got about 50 in mind, already. And we're not going to see a lot of those guys play. You can't bench 50 guys in the preseason, but you can bench a lot of them, and we'll have a pretty good sense of where they want to go in some of these positions. But, Jeff, you mentioned B.J. Green, Danny Stroud, another young guy, Miles Cole, another young guy there. Let's say Agba doesn't make the team, okay?
Okay.
And I understand the math. How do you count Gardeck? If you count him as an edge, do you keep another linebacker, whatever the case? But you're going to have Trayvon. You're going to have Josh Hines-Allen.
Right.
You think Dewan Smoot's on this team.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so you think Agba, what do you call it, coin flip, 50-50? Or?
Yeah, I mean, if I had to say, I don't think he makes it.
You don't? Okay,
No.
so better than 50-50 against.
Well, and here's, he's a 10-year vet, and do I want to keep a 10-year vet that I've got a guarantee of salary this year if I keep him on the opening day roster, or do I want to keep a young player that showed some promise? For me, I would go with the young player that's showed some promise and has been a little bit more productive in the preseason so far. And I like Strigal and I like B.J. Green. This last game, I think I was kind of real close on the both of them. But watching B.J. Green, he's just twitchy. And when I say twitchy, he's got that violent quickness, and he finishes, and he's strong. And you guys ever seen that guy up close, man? I mean, he looks like Mike Tyson. I mean, this guy, how he got them traps that go up towards the ears, and there's like no neck. I mean, that's kind of what he looks like a little bit. And he's a hard head, man. He hits the fire out of you. So I like the guy. I like Danny Strigal, but not as much as a B.J. Green. And I think B.J. Green would do really well on the no tight end side of a defense. For years we would always call that the eagle end or the open side end where he's, a wide 6, one of those guys. But, yeah, that's going to be an interesting watch because, again, it's one of those decisions, okay, Ogba's got a lot of bank. When I say bank from, the past film study and years in the National Football League, you kind of know that. Whereas a B.J. Green, your small sample size, Danny Strigow, small sample size, then they have film, but it's at the college level. So I think that's an interesting decision. And in most new regimes, so to speak, the decision would be an easy one, right? We're in first year. We're trying to build something here. Let's go the younger route, right? He's going to be around longer, But this regime is wanting to win now. I mean, look at the
division.
Colin Saunders trade. Yeah, absolutely.
To be taken.
And you got a quarterback, that your expectation is to win the division. So it's a little different mindset.
So Miles Cole
doesn't make it.
Yeah, it doesn't. I mean, man.
Love his length, and I love his.
He's like the
plays
mold
hard, finishes,
physical mold that you're looking for. But I don't know.
If you could take B.J. Green, you take two guys, B.J. Green and Miles Cole, and
Miles Cole's body and B.J. Green's intensity.
Oh my God! You might have Myles Garrett-ish, freakish qualities. I mean, because Miles Cole's got the length that's just, he's
6'6", 280.
280. I mean, got long arms and I like him. He plays hard, but it's not that those instincts, I think, with him are not there.
All right, let's take a look at the secondary here a little bit. We talked safeties earlier. We can go back over that a smidge, but let's get to the cornerback room. Tyson Campbell back at practice today, which is a good sign. Logs, let's presume that Jordan Lewis is your guy in base defense, right? Either way, he's going to be in nickel. He's going to be on the field, right? So Tyson Campbell, Jordan Lewis, consider them starters. Who's the other outside corner on opening day?
Well, opening day, that's a little different question. I mean, the outside guy's going to be Travis Hunter, right?
Eventually, right?
Monteric Brown, even though he's dinged up right now, I think he's obviously a very strong player. I like him, especially in this defense, to where eyes are at the quarterback, mostly zone. I think that fits him perfectly. I think it fits Tyson Campbell perfectly. So, typically the formula is 5 and 5. 5 safeties, 5 corners, which gives you 10 defensive backs.
Mm-hmm.
And if you went off of that formula, you got Jarian Jones, Tyson Campbell, Travis Hunter, but does he really count?
Right.
Because, again, which side are you going to count him on in the equation? And then Jordan Lewis, Monteric Brown. The next guy that's shown some things, I think, is DeAndre Prince. And, again, here we are talking about the safeties in this mix. Darnell Savage, if you kept him, he's got some positional flexibility to move to nickel more so than a Daniel Thomas. But Daniel Thomas gives you a little more special team. So these are the quandaries that you're in for decision-making.
Yeah, Braswell on the outside looking in.
Yeah, I think so. Practice squad guy, that you can maybe look at him as a future player.
Yeah, I counted Travis Hunter as a wide receiver when we did our thing, kind of almost a half in each, And with that, I had Tyson Campbell, Jordan Lewis, Jarian Jones, Monteric, obviously Hunter. Then I had Braswell as a 6 with DeAndre Prince. It was kind of Braswell Prince for that spot if they go that route. So we'll see if they do. Just circling back, Murray and Wingard, your likely opening day starting safeties?
I think it's between Murray, Wingard, and Antonio Johnson. I think that's the decision there.
Who does Antonio Johnson threaten more?
I think it's more of a Wingard or Johnson. Okay, I think Murray is the guy that they say he's going to be the guy. I think eventually that Caleb Bransall is going to be the one who takes over for Eric Murray. But obviously with the situation that they're in with Caleb Bransall being injured right now, and I don't know when he's going to be back, that stuff is put on hold.
Who is, in that scenario, say Eric Murray misses a week, who's your strong safety? Assuming that Savage did not make the team.
Antonio Johnson.
It is, okay.
Yeah, he's physical. He actually came up this past week and had a real physical play. He's unafraid. He's physical. With Antonio Johnson, it's just some of the schematic awareness is what hurt him last year and what just kind of continues to hurt him. And that's the one thing about Wingard that's really steady. Number one is that he is always assignment clean. He makes good decisions, and he communicates really well. And if you look at his past PFF grades and his grades, just the eye test, he's played really well when given the opportunity. It's just, I think the mindset with Wingard has always been, well, he's a backup, but man, he's a really good special teamer, right? Mm-hmm. The mindset's never been, hey, let's give him an opportunity at starting safety. And you got a new staff with a kind of coming in with a blank slate, just come in, and I think they're seeing what he brings to the defense, and they're saying, well, why are we not starting this guy? Right. And so I think he's going to get that chance.
Yeah, it's funny that we'll look at that and say, all right, PFF grades him highly, but we're just talking about, I don't even know if we're on the air or off the air, talking about Devin Lloyd's PFF grades.
Which has been really good.
Right. They've been outstanding. Yeah. I mean, in fact, and I think that's part of what led, I don't know how much of this kind of content you consume, but Mike Clay at ESPN did a thing last week where he ranked all the position groups for all 32 teams. And so you saw where you fell. The Jags' strongest group, according to that, was off-ball linebacker. Had him third in the league at off-ball linebacker.
Okay.
Right? And I'm sure a lot of that's influenced by the metric grades on Devin Lloyd. But
I'm sure.
Your knock is that, you're grading something when you don't know what the responsibility is on the play.
And that's hard to do.
It is, but I mean, it's like when you watch it, do you know what the responsibility on every play is?
Got a pretty good idea, yeah.
Okay.
But I don't know everything. Seriously, I have to ask questions sometimes.
And that's because you're with it. Like if you're watching some other team's film, like when you're scouting, how difficult is it to know, like you're going to watch the Carolina film, what they're asking certain players to do at any given moment?
You have to kind of decipher it. So you're watching what other players are doing. And I think a lot of times the trained eye at PFF is not a trained eye that can look at the play and say, you know what, that was cover 2 and he was supposed to do this. They can look at it and go, that was probably cover 3 and he's in the area and he made the play, or he was in a different area, so it wasn't on him. Well, maybe the responsibility was for him to be in the area. So that's the hard part about PFF is they don't know the assignment responsibility, and that goes across the board for all of their grades. When you evaluate their grades for offensive linemen, for linebackers, for safeties, a lot of times they have no earthly idea of what the responsibility of those players are on each play.
Overall, would you say they do a good service?
Yeah,
because they're
but
trying
overall,
to, right? Because I don't grade the film, you know what I mean? And I wouldn't know necessarily, but I would think if you are watching the all 22 of every team, you're getting a decent sense of what's going on. I think it's at least a fair attempt to, here's what we see.
Totally agree.
Here's what we're doing.
Totally agree. And I think you bring up a great point that it can be a source,
a useful tool,
or a tool, but you can't use it as the ultimate end-all, be-all grade.
Right. All right. Well, let's step aside right here. Let's come back. Let's talk coaching staff, Logs. Let's talk game operation. Let's talk about the word clean. We heard that a lot.
How about cleats in the ground?
I mean, cleats in the ground, Jeff, and all those things that seem to get improved in week 2 of the preseason. We'll discuss Liam Cohen and his staff when we return in a moment. Jeff Lageman here with us on a Check the Tape Tuesday. This is Jaguars Today on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Jaguars Today for the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios.
When you're faced with damage in your home from water, fire, or mold, you need a team with the expertise to fix it right.
Resto Pros!
A locally owned, nationally backed franchise that's here to help you when you need them. A team that does it right the first time.
Resto Pros!
Remember, you don't have to use the insurance company's preferred contractors. Get it done right by a licensed professional you can trust. Call 904-201-9151 or go to RestoProsNEFlorida.com. That's RestoProsNEFlorida.com.
Resto Pros!
Jags fans, a new Everbank Performance account could be your ticket to London this October. The Everbank London Getaway Experience. One lucky winner and a guest get round-trip airfare, hotel accommodations, and tickets to see the Jags play in London. Everbank.com/London for official rules. No purchase necessary to enter or win. Open to legal residents of the United States and D.C. 18 and older. Everbank London Getaway sweeps entry period 7/28/25 to 9/5/25. Enter and get official rules and details at everbank.com/London.
1010XL, Jaguars Today Tuesday.
Kept pest-free by Julington Creek Pest Control. Our family serving yours since 1984.
When you need a mechanic you can trust, visit AA Automotive on Richard Street. For oil changes to complex repairs, AA Automotive is a full-service repair shop for personal and commercial fleet vehicles. Trust AA to keep your ride running A-OK.
Summer's winding down, and we know you want to enjoy what's left of it. But before you celebrate this Labor Day weekend, plan ahead and know all your options. If you drink, don't get behind the wheel. Instead, designate a sober driver or catch a ride service. And if you are the designated sober driver, commit to staying sober. Celebrate responsibly and remember to drive sober or get pulled over. This message brought to you by the Florida Department of Transportation.
Lauren Brooks here for Terminix. As temperatures warm up around us, ants come out in droves. And when they move into your home or business, it's unnerving. Terminix knows that ants add up fast. But Terminix subtracts them faster because living with ants isn't any fun. When ants show up, so does Terminix. Don't live with an ant problem, Terminix it. Visit Terminix.com today to schedule a free inspection online. That's TERMINIX.com.
Duck Rooter Plumbing, Septic, and Air Conditioning.
Scheduling was easy, and the tech showed up right on time.
From plumbing and septic to air conditioning, we do it all. Call 904-862-6769 or online at duckduckrooter.com. When you're stuck, call the Duck.
Football season is here, so I've got to get organized. Lauren Brooks here. Closets by Design creates custom storage for every space, lifestyle, and budget. From closets to garages to laundry rooms or entertainment centers, wherever that clutter has taken over. Call today to schedule a free in-home consultation and receive 40% off plus an additional 15% off with free installation. Yes, that's 40% off plus an additional 15% off this month only. Call 904-878-9393 or visit closetsbydesign.com.
If you want to sell your home or you're worried about selling your home or you've had trouble selling your home, let me give you the hotline to the help you need. That's the hotline to Chad and Sandy. 904-414-6200, chadandsandy.com. Area homes are selling, but you got to get the right price, and you need the right marketing, the proven systems. Chad and Sandy hit every base for you. Need to sell now? Instant offers coming. Fast, easy, stress-free. You want max price? Chad and Sandy bring your home to market with unmatched exposure, whether you're buying or selling. Fast or max cash, Chad and Sandy have the proven plan guaranteed. And how about this promise? Chad and Sandy guarantee your home sold at an agreed-upon price and deadline, or they will buy it. No required costly repairs. They are the real estate experts you can trust. So call them today at 904-414-6200 or go to chadandsandy.com. That's Chad, A-N-D, Sandy.com.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555, Jacksonville. Jeff Lageman Tuesday
is brought to you by
Napa Auto Care on 1010XL.
All right, Check the Tape Tuesday rolls on. Jags will be on the field with the Miami Dolphins coming up on Thursday, and then likely not seeing much exposure for the starters this weekend. We'll hear from Liam Cohen on that front coming up in a minute. Here's what he had to say about how his quarterback played versus New Orleans this weekend.
Similar to week one, where it was the ball was coming out, where we weren't really, especially in this kind of setting, you're just trying to get the ball out, keep it moving, completion mindset throughout, just to see us operate instead of sitting there and saying, hey, we're going to just launch the ball deep and scheme some stuff up. It's more about, hey, getting through progression, seeing the defense, seeing the coverages, making the proper protection calls up front. We talked about the turnover, which is something we can't have. We can't have 2 turnovers in the red zone and expect to win any game moving forward. So, but I was pleased with his outing.
All right, good. I think most people were and are hopeful that he continues that level of play into the regular season. Don't think we'll see him this weekend, but here's Liam Cohen just on that front. How much will the joint practice with Miami, which is 2 days from now, make him want to play or impact his decision on whether or not to play starters on Saturday?
No, that won't change any of that. No, it will be good work against another quality opponent down in the heat. So I don't think that won't change. We're still going to get good work in. It'll still be a good fit. Anytime you go in joint, it's not typically, especially our guys not having one yet, I'm sure they'll be juiced up to go against somebody else. So I'm not really worried about us not getting quality work.
All right, so that's kind of weird. I don't know if that was the purpose of the question. I think it was more like, yes, we know you're going to get quality work, but will that keep you from – is that enough to keep you from playing guys? Do you expect to see many starters at all on Saturday, Jeff?
No.
Yeah, I don't either.
No. I mean, look, it's a really good environment to control things for your starters, which is the practice with the Miami Dolphins. And then – ultimately, a lot of the guys that you know about, you just want them to get the reps against the different schemes, different players, and protect them. And in practice setting, you can do that more easily than you can in a game setting. And the guys that you're really trying to evaluate, which are on the bottom end of your roster, you want to evaluate them in a game setting, where they're going against highly competitive guys that are, you're tackling all the way and it's full speed. So I think it just makes sense.
All right. We'll get your opinion on how Liam Cohen handled things on Sunday in a moment. But first, Tony Smith going to take us around the NFL.
Now, Gems Around the NFL. Brought to you by Beach's Jewelry and Pawn in Jack's Beach.
The Indianapolis Colts have named Daniel Jones as their starting quarterback for Week 1. Cleveland has named Joe Flacco as their starting quarterback to begin the season. Carolina rookie wide receiver Teteroa McMillan is dealing with a minor hamstring injury. Quarterback Jordan Love and wide receiver Romeo Doubs both returned to practice yesterday for the Packers. Baltimore linebacker Adisa Isaac needs surgery for an elbow injury, and according to head coach John Harbaugh, he will start the season on IR for the football team. Kansas City defensive end Felix Anudikwe Azuma has been placed on season-ending injured reserve. He was a first-round pick by the Chiefs just a couple of years ago. Miami is expected to sign linebacker Matt Judon to a one-year, $6 million contract. Minnesota head coach Kevin O'Connell said yesterday that wide receiver Justin Jefferson is expected to return to practice this week as he continues to recover from a hamstring injury, and free agent wide receiver Gabe Davis has a second scheduled visit today with Pittsburgh.
And then I think he's going to go to Buffalo after that to visit with the Bills, his former team, obviously. Anudikwe Azuma, every play-by-play guy in the league is celebrating today that he is on IR, and they don't have to deal with that name throughout the course of the season.
I think I butchered a name in the game. Well, at least I didn't get it completely right, which is the right tackle for the Saints, and it's Taliese Fuaga. And I didn't get the first name right in the broadcast.
During the draft process, somebody said he goes by Tali. All right, so that whole – it's like, Foyer's full name is not Foyer. We just go by Foyer. Right. It's simpler that way. But regardless. All right, let's move off that. Liam Cohen. Jeff, let's start with the decision at the end of the game, okay? Now, I heard you guys talking about it. You're like, hey, why would you, if you're New Orleans, kick a field goal here, why wouldn't you go for it, right? Because things are different in the preseason. But you're also trying to get in the mindset of this is what we do in a game situation.
Yeah, game decisions.
So what did you make of the decision by Liam Cohen to put the ball in the air instead of just, you're already in field goal range for Cam Little, instead of maybe just running, picking up 3 more, calling a quick timeout?
Are you?
Yes.
Where are you at?
They were on the other side of the 50.
What would it? Would you remember what it would have been?
It was less than 70. So you are indoor. You are in Cam Little's field goal range.
I love how that all of a sudden when a guy makes a 70, now we're going to look at a 60-yarder as a chip shot.
I'm not saying it's a chip shot, but he hit the 53-yarder at the top of the post.
I know.
I mean, it is. He's got the leg strength to easily hit 60-yarders.
I get the play call though, because I mean you still can't go into that. I mean, just looking at the analytics of it, you still got to go for one more play to move him in a little bit closer.
Okay, but why you could do that with a run, right?
Sure.
I mean, so, and you don't, I mean, certainly you can fumble the ball, but there's more risk, I think, of the turnover when you put the ball in the air.
I think it's under normal game conditions, it's easier to get a 5-yard gain, okay, with a pass because defenses are typically playing a little off on the outside coverage-wise. But, I get it. I mean, the runs, wouldn't be necessarily a bad call there. I think a run, if you were, let's say, already at a point where you would have been kicking like a 50-yarder, okay, then I think a run makes a little bit more sense than that you were going to be lining up to kick a 60-yarder and then attempting a run. And the whole mindset of what I bring up is that, because your kicker makes one from 70, you still got to treat a potential 60-yarder as, hey, let's get them a little closer when we have the opportunity to do so. And a quick little pass on an all slants is usually something that's usually pretty successful. So, and if you can't trust your quarterback and receiver to make that decision and play, then I think that's a problem there in itself. But I understand your thinking, Mike, and a lot of people say game winner, end of the game, 60 yards, just run it and then kick it. But I want to move my kicker a little bit closer.
Yeah, I hear you. They're at the 42, so that was a 60.
Yeah.
Right? Wasn't 66, whatever. And plus, it was Cam Little's birthday. So that's got to be good for 5 yards extra.
How old is he now?
12. I believe he's 12. Maybe 23? Is he 23?
Yeah, it's pretty amazing.
22 or 23, yeah.
The leg speed that he generates because, the Jaguars have that system that's TrackMan, right? So in golf, they can tell you club speed, ball speed, spin rate, all of that, and they give you the fancy analytics of the ball and where it's going. They have all of that for the kickers in Jacksonville. And I think it was like maybe a 6-figure investment. I mean, and I think it's a perfect sign that, the Jaguars ownership has always been willing to say yes when it comes to questions that are asked of him. Hey, can we invest in this to help make our program better?
Right.
Answer is yes. Yeah. Whereas if that were brought to the ownership desk in Cincinnati, what do you think the owners would have said?
Let him hold out.
Yeah.
Oh, no, that's Trey Hendrickson.
Get out of my office.
Quickly.
It's worth it just to watch Big Bo try to describe what it is when you asked him.
He struggled a little bit on that the other day.
All right.
But I would have too, That's why I didn't want to try to get too deep into it.
The lack of penalties, is that something that the coaching staff did, or is that just players just taking more responsibility for being mentally sharp?
Well, I think that overall, I mean, if you look at the things that there was really a focal point in that ball game, the penalties, pre-snap errors, false starts, et cetera. Liam was talking extensively about that, about eliminating that. And then also defensively getting the cleats in the ground and eliminating the communication errors or problems that they were having like they had against Pittsburgh. And what impressed me last week is that, okay, it was an obvious problem at the Pittsburgh game, but it wasn't just glossed over and minimized, right, to his team. He met it head on, addressed it, worked on it extensively with purpose in practices, the scrimmage that they had, and the results showed on Sunday. And to me, that's impressive. When a coach sees a problem, make it a point to address and then make the corrections, and then let's work on making it better. And he did exactly that.
All right, one segment to go here on Jaguars Today. We'll continue to look back and maybe a peek ahead as to which players have the most on the line when they take on the Miami Dolphins over the course of the next several days, Thursday and Saturday, coming up here with the joint practice and the final preseason game. Mike Dempsey, Tony Smith, Jeff Lageman, and Dylan Denmark here with you on 1010XL 92.5 FM. Hey, folks, Mike Dempsey here for Dandy Foods. Owned and operated by a local family. The Thompsons, since way back in 1956. Generations of this family have worked for Dandy and continue to do that to bring you the best quality food made with the best ingredients, convenient, and keeping the prices down all over Duval. You know that now. Look, Dandy started out back when sandwiches were sold out of beer flats on the counter, unrefrigerated, right there by the register. 25 cents for a ham and cheese. Of course, a lot has changed since then, but one thing that hasn't is Dandy's commitment to making quality sandwiches for you, their customers. Whether it's a classic Cuban made with authentic Cuban bread or a delicious home-style cranberry chicken salad, Dandy's got a little something for everybody. And they have party subs and platters now. If you go to dandyfoods.com, you can order and have them delivered right to your house for your next in-home tailgating experience. When you're hungry at Duval, folks, do what I do. Go with the best. Go out and make yours a Dandy and do it today.
Jaguars Today from the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios of 1010XL.
Josie for Hard Rock Bet, and I know you've been waiting for this. College football is back with massive matchups to kick off the season in style. The only thing better than hearing your favorite school's fight song is the sound of cha-ching. Hard Rock Bet makes it easy to place your bets so you can feel like the big man on campus. Download the Hard Rock Bet app or log on hardrock.bet. Offered by the Seminole Tribe of Florida. Must be 21 plus and physically present in Florida to wager. Terms and conditions apply. Concerned about gambling? Call 1-888-ADMIT-IT.
Brian Wall here. Would you take your paycheck, go to the bank, cash it, and then simply throw it up in the air? I didn't think so. But in a way, over the years, that is exactly what you're doing if you have old or builder-grade windows in your home. Even if you have a brand new home, those windows are not the best windows you can have to save on your energy bills. Window World has sold millions of replacement windows to homeowners like you, and Window World's customer satisfaction is the highest in the business. Please check Window World out yourself and save on your new windows and on your energy bills. Compare with other companies and you'll see Window World is simply the best for less. It's up to you. You can call Window World and get a free estimate, get the best guarantee in the window replacement business, save money on your new windows, and save more on your energy bills. Call Window World today at 904-443-7001 or go online to windowworldneflorida.com. Thank you for your business.
Window World also offers energy-efficient doors.
Jaguars Today Tuesday.
Kept pest-free by Julington Creek Pest Control.
Home is where your story begins. And at Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing, we're here to make it the healthiest, most comfortable place it could be. Whether it's fresh, clean air, dependable plumbing, or reliable power, we take care of it all. From routine maintenance to state-of-the-art solutions, Donovan keeps your home running smoothly. Because at Donovan, we believe your home isn't just where you live, it's where your health meets comfort. Call Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing at 904-270-COOL or visit us online. Let's make your home healthier, safer, and better together.
Summer's wrapping up, and life is picking back up. Early mornings, long days, and a to-do list that doesn't quit. And neither should you. Who has time to slow down due to body pain? That's why there's Aleve to keep you going. With just one pill, Aleve delivers longer-lasting body pain relief per dose compared to other leading OTC-branded pain relievers. Aleve helps you keep moving from sunup to sundown with up to 12 hours of pain relief per dose, so you can keep moving and be ready for whatever's next. Use as directed.
Hello, this is Father Nicholas Lowe, and I want to talk to you about letting things roll off of your back. So often we can make big deals out of things that are not really big deals. We can allow them to steal the joy of our day. But let me remind you that don't allow anyone or anything to steal the joy of today. Go out today not letting little things steal the big things that God has in store for you.
For more inspiration, log on to stjohnthedivine.com.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Now the cool down with Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing. Keeping Jack's cool since 87.
All right, got a little under 10 minutes here with Jeff Lageman to go on a Check the Tape Tuesday. So let's get it in under the wire, Denmark.
10-10
Take.
Now, Mike Dempsey's 10-10 Take is serviced by Ideal Conditions Heating and Air, your go-to local HVAC company, veteran owned and operated.
All right, here's the best thing happening for the Jacksonville Jaguars right now is that they're getting healthier, apparently. Look, there are some guys that are out for the remainder of the preseason or kind of on a week-to-week basis. We found out Wyatt Milam's going to join that group, but got Tyson Campbell back at practice. Hey, Eric Armstead's still on this roster and practicing as well. Mason Smith was on the field with him this morning. So Travis Hunter returned to practice after missing preseason week 2. So the Jags, either by happenstance or design, are getting their guys healthy at the right time. Still some interesting players, and we talked about the dynamics of how you get them to the PUP list if you decide to go that route, and you wonder if any of these guys end up being IR candidates, that are going to be out for the remainder of the preseason. But for the most part, you got your defensive tackles back. Travis Hunter's on the field. Tyson Campbell. Some of the players you're going to be counting on very heavily this season are getting healthier at the right time, and that's always a good thing. That's today's 10-10 Take logs for you. against Miami. What are you looking for in a joint practice that maybe you're not looking at as much in a preseason game? Or what would you hone in on if you were down in Miami? By the way, are you going to Miami?
Yeah.
You are? Okay. What will you be specifically trying to hone in on?
Well, I mean, I think everything, but I want to see where Trevor's at. It's always good to watch a quarterback go against a different defense. Sometimes when you're going against the same defense day in and day out, a lot of times you got a level of comfort of what you can and can't do. Versus different defenses, you're still trying to decipher the defense and then also trying to figure out what to do with the ball. So I that's number one for me. And then Travis Hunter obviously didn't play this past week. What's his role going to be? Because when you have and if he was going to play this week in New Orleans, I thought it would have been a great opportunity to actually have him go two ways. For the first two series to where he's not, playing offense first.
And then having a break.
And then going out the third series for the defense. Right. I wanted to see him go from offense to defense, offense to defense, offense to defense. So I think you can do a little bit of that in this game if the starters were playing, but are you going to risk that in this game? No, probably not.
Well, Travis Hunter in his career, Tony, have back-to-back scrimmage plays where he scores a touchdown and makes an interception. In either order.
You say scrimmage, how about a regular season game?
Well, when I'm saying scrimmage, I mean because every play, like a punt.
Oh, line of scrimmage.
Right.
Yeah.
From lining up back-to-back plays.
Highly doubtful.
Right, because you score a touchdown, then you got the kickoff. So, but you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, you could have the interception, turn around, score on offense on the very next play.
Here's something I'm going to throw out there. If he's that dynamic, right? Which we think he's pretty dynamic, right? Deion Sanders did punt returns.
Yeah. Deion was a different level of dynamism, I think. You couldn't get a finger on Deion. Deion literally, I think his speed struck fear. Like, all you wanted to do was contain that guy. Like, I don't know if Deion, how many big hits he ever took. I know Bo Jackson stiff-armed him to the ground once back in the day, but I don't know. I felt like Deion was in another stratosphere. Like, I mean, I don't think Travis Hunter will ever be the kind of corner that they're just like, forget it, we're not going to that side of the field. Like, Deion could have guarded Jamar Chase, and Jamar Chase would have gotten 3 targets back in the day. That's how they treated Deion Sanders.
He was next level.
So I don't know. I mean, let's let him get through a rookie season where he's contributing on offense and defense.
I'll just throwing something out there.
Make him a 3-way player, Logs.
I think it's going to be fun, though. And, I think the big challenge for him is that the complexity of an NFL playbook is so much bigger than college. I mean, I just remember when I made the jump from the college game to the pro game, and I said earlier that playing defensive line is not rocket science. I made the conversion from linebacker to linebacker. I wasn't truly a defensive lineman my first year. I was a linebacker. And it was when I remember when I got to the playbook, I was like, oh my God, this is like 10 times more than what it was in college. I mean, so the challenge of that for Travis Hunter, I think, is immense. And if you kind of read between the lines of what Liam Cohen is talking about a lot of times when he's saying, hey, look, when we were practicing him earlier, we found out that if he had 3 days not touching one side of the ball, it was too long to be off, and we're working him in special teams periods with the other side of the ball that he's practicing with, which I think that goes to say that there are challenges in learning everything at this level because the complexity is much higher than the college.
All right, well, we'll have the final thought from you coming up momentarily, but first let's welcome in XL Primetime at the Ale House out at Beach and Hodges today.
Now, the 2-minute drill is driven by nobody but Nimnicht. Nimnicht Chevrolet on Cassett Avenue and Nimnicht Buick GMC on Phillips Highway.
Joe C. in the house, the Ale House, that is. What's up, Joe? How are you, bro?
I'm doing great, and I tell you, it's a special day for us. It's a sad day as well. It's a send-off party for Coach Campo, and I hate it. He's going to be with us again on Friday, and I think they're going to pack everything up and drive off a U-Haul next week. They're moving back to Dallas, and he's still going to be part of the show and whatnot, but it's just I'm just sad, you know what I mean, because he's been such a big part of 1010XL.
We may lock the door on Friday, all right? He may find it tough tough getting out of the studio on Friday. I love hearing Coach Campo with you guys. So hopefully you'll be in studio on Friday. Or you guys on remote then?
No, you will be on remote as well. Cigars International on Friday. But hopefully, like we said, Kay has already given him permission to come back whenever he wants.
Hey, well, we love having him. And so today, a lot to get into, as there always is. What will you guys focus on?
Yeah, well, more than anything else, please, if you can, if you are cruising around Beach and Hodges, you know where the Ale House is. It's right there, the cornerstone right there as far as this intersection goes. If you can come by before 2 or a little after 2, Coach will hang out. We'd love to see you. We just want to be able to say, hey, thanks to him. Anyone wants to help send him off in style, do it. 1010XL fans out there, we would love to see you, that's for sure. Practice today, Eric Armstead and Mason Smith, Mike, on the field. And just out of nowhere, Eric Armstead just pops in the lineup. I'm like, whoa, what's up? And so he actually didn't look bad. I don't know what the lingering back issue might have been. We will find out at some point. But anyway, that was it might have been a veteran move. I have no idea. But he is now getting his body ready to go.
Well, we needed it. And still almost 3 full weeks to go. So hopefully he and Mason Smith will be up for their normal division of reps, whatever that turns out to be, man. But hey, we'll be listening. Have a great show and give Coach Campo our best.
All right, sounds good, Mike. Thanks.
All right, buddy. There you go. Joe C. and the XL Primetime crew out at the Ale House at Beach and Hodges.
No pads, by the way, for the team. So I'll get more excited if Eric Armstead is practicing this week against the Miami Dolphins. Hopefully they are.
It's a good step, though,
in
the right direction.
Absolutely.
So, all right, Logs, safe travels to South Florida, and bring us back a healthy football team.
That's the number one.
I'm not going to say bring us back a W. Just bring us back a healthy football team, and we'll do our own 53-man roster projection next Tuesday. Tony and I might do one on Monday, but we'll ask you for the last particulars because that'll be cut down day. All right, for Tony Smith, Jeff Lageman, and Dylan Denmark, I'm Mike Dempsey. Stick around. XL Primetime is next on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Jaguars Today for the Renewal by Anderson